At least Coffee 92, or we have a prime minister. I had originally prepared a different story, but since it was about Christmas, there is still time for that. And domestic events do not stop. As we know, the situation on the battlefield is changing every moment. So, as of December 9th, we have a new prime minister. The president decided to fulfill his constitutional duty and appointed the leader of the strongest parliamentary party as prime minister. A party that, in coalition with other parties, managed to establish a parliamentary majority. And it immediately became clear who is a politician and who is just a fool who, unfortunately, is currently somewhere in the heights. Because politicians, even though they are against Prime Minister Babiš, managed to congratulate him and commented on the appointment only with a meaningless phrase about hoping for the good of the state. The fools started another round of mudslinging, slandering and insulting. But this only proves how empty their heads are. All that rattles around in there is their starved brain eater. Andrej Babiš also presented his proposal for ministers in his government. So, within a week, the government should be appointed and take up their posts. However, the list does not include the name of Filip Turek. He did not appear before the president, allegedly for health reasons, so party chairman Petr Mašinka removed him from the list. Now the question is, what health problems are hidden behind this? Perhaps he really does have such serious problems and pain that he may even need surgery. And then, again, there are 3 conspiracy theories. The first is that after his recovery, he will visit the president, who will appoint him at Babiš's request, whether he likes it or not. The second is that, in order not to irritate the president too much, he will take a seat at the relevant ministry as first deputy, who will be entrusted with running the department. And if he shows that he is doing well, it will be no problem to convince the president in a non-violent way that Turek is the right man for the job. And if he fails, Babiš will easily convince the motorists to remove him from the ministry. And then there is the possibility that Turek has realized that his name could cause major problems for the government, so after recovering, he will declare that his health does not allow him to fully devote himself to the work of a minister and will gracefully step down. But it's not just Filip Turek. Immediately after the Prime Minister's appointment, students took to the streets of Prague to protest against something they know nothing about. Against the motorists at the Ministry of the Environment. They don't even know why, but they marched through the city. It is reminiscent of the protests by Minar's million-strong association against democracy at the time when Marie Benesova was to be appointed to the Ministry of Justice. The fools also made up something about her that did not correspond to reality at all. They even labeled her a former communist, which was absolute nonsense. Now, similarly fanatical students are protesting against someone they know nothing about other than that he is from a party that, according to those on the right side, they should condemn. They don't know why, but they know it's wrong. Motorists have bad nominees in general. The Ministry of Sport and Prevention was reportedly created especially for Boris Stasny. Those who protest the most are the ones who overlook the fact that there were 3 similar ministries in the outgoing government. It was a cushy job for Helena Lanksidlova as Minister of Science and Research, which was originally a department within the Ministry of Education. Then there was the chairman of the Legislative Council, the Minister for Legislation. And finally, the most useless and worst of all, the Minister for European Affairs, Martin Dvorak. Again, a minister for nothing, because this department falls under the Prime Minister as a section of the office of the government. So these people are criticizing the creation of one ministry and overlooking the fact that the 3 useless ministries mentioned above will be abolished. But even the future ministers from the SPD are under scrutiny from opponents. Mainly because none of them were chosen from among the elected members of parliament. SPD Chairman Okamura said he wanted to nominate experts from outside the Chamber of Deputies to the government. And so he nominated them. Of course, opponents claim that Babiš chose them and Okamura just fell in line. However, we already have a prime minister, and the government is said to be formed within a week. So we'll see. Until then, we can sit back and enjoy our good coffee.